Hello, dear viewers of Practical Philosophy. My dear friends, in today's society, there exists a silent yet powerful paradox. Words and actions must often be understood in reverse. When you deeply desire something, you may feel the need to act indifferent and distant, because only by hiding your true emotions can you truly attain it. If you are filled with joy and excitement, you must wear a mask of calmness and composure. And when anger burns inside you, you must pretend as if nothing has happened. In reality, this does not always reflect dishonesty, rather, it is a survival mechanism in the modern world. We cannot always reveal our true emotions in every situation because, at times, doing so may be exploited by others or weaken our own position. A skilled manager will not show panic when their company faces a crisis. And a wise politician will never fully reveal their true stance during negotiations. The more someone insists they don't care, the more they are likely tormented by endless concern. When someone says, "It's fine," behind those words often lies deep anxiety and unresolved conflicts. A performer who smiles radiantly on stage might be battling loneliness backstage. Someone who always appears strong may, in reality, be carrying wounds that have never been healed. We must learn to listen to the contradictions behind words, to observe actions, and to think in reverse. Remember, in life, what is clearly visible is not always the truth. A compliment may carry hidden sarcasm, and an act of kindness might have an ulterior motive. The key is to develop critical thinking and recognize that, in order to avoid being manipulated, we must read between the lines of every word and action. Life is like a countercurrent, and if you are not sharp enough to see the truth hidden behind illusions, you will forever be swept away, suffering the most losses and pain. Only when you learn to see in reverse and listen beyond the surface can you take control of your own destiny. But if you believe everything you hear and take everything at face value, you are living in an illusion, allowing others to manipulate and control your emotions. This paradox is most evident in romantic relationships. Have you ever noticed that the person who appears the most indifferent is often the one who cares the most? A man who claims he is not interested in you may, in fact, remember even the smallest details about your habits. A woman who rejects a confession of love may still find excuses to be around that person. Love is often a psychological game, where people hide their true feelings to test their partner or to shield themselves from potential heartbreak. Some people portray themselves as strong and independent, declaring they do not need love, but deep inside, they are simply afraid of being hurt again. Others choose avoidance instead of confronting their true emotions. This is similar to those who, after being rejected, quickly say, "I never really liked her anyway," just to preserve a sense of dignity. If you believe only their words without observing their actions, you will never uncover the truth hidden beneath. Learn to recognize reality behind the disguise of words and actions. When you love someone, don't just believe what they say, pay attention to what they do. Only those who are intelligent and courageous can swim against the tide of emotions, decipher the true signals, and ultimately gain control over their lives and their hearts. In mathematics, there is a rule. Multiplying two negative numbers results in a positive number. This means that when one negative number is multiplied by another negative number, the outcome is positive. However, when a positive number is multiplied by a negative number, the result remains negative. This principle mirrors life itself, when placed in a difficult environment. If you learn to adapt and leverage adversity, you can transform it into an opportunity for growth. But if you keep applying conventional thinking to unconventional situations, the results may not be what you expect. Reverse thinking is not just a survival strategy, it is a way to perceive reality more clearly. For example, when someone repeatedly claims that they don't care about something, it is often the very thing that occupies their mind the most. When someone says that money doesn't matter, it could be because they are struggling financially. When a person insists they do not need love, perhaps they have been deeply hurt before and are simply trying to protect themselves. The same logic applies to love. Those who act cold and indifferent are often the ones who love the deepest. A man who ignores your messages might actually be waiting anxiously for your reply. A woman who claims she doesn't like someone might spend an unusual amount of time talking about them. All these behaviors align with the mathematical principle. Two negatives can create a positive. But when a truth is combined with a lie, misunderstandings arise. Thoughts, words, and actions follow this same logic. Sometimes, the opposite of what is said turns out to be the real truth. People often express themselves in contradiction, respond in opposition, yet ultimately reveal their true emotions through indirect means. Understanding this rule allows us to immediately grasp many things that previously seemed incomprehensible. If you only take words at face value without observing actions, you can be easily deceived. However, if you learn to reverse your perspective, question the real motives behind every word and action, you will develop a much deeper understanding of people and life. For instance, an employee in a company may never openly criticize their boss. But that does not mean they are satisfied. They might be silently seeking opportunities elsewhere, or they may feel powerless to voice their true opinions. Conversely, if someone constantly praises their company, colleagues, or boss, do not be quick to believe they are genuinely happy. They could be strategically building a positive image to prepare for a career move. Or they might be trying to earn trust to secure personal benefits. In love, this rule becomes even more apparent. The more someone seems indifferent and detached, the more they might actually care. A person may pretend not to be interested but secretly keeps track of their partner's every move on social media. A man might claim he doesn't notice you, yet he is always present when you need him. A woman may reject a confession, but she frequently appears in places where she knows she will run into that person. This is no coincidence. It is a deliberate psychological strategy to avoid appearing vulnerable in matters of the heart. Those who constantly boast about their wealth are often the ones drowning in debt. Truly wealthy individuals feel no need to prove their status to the world because they understand that value does not come from external displays but from internal stability. Someone who frequently flaunts their luxury cars and lavish homes might actually be carrying immense financial burdens or using material possessions to mask their insecurities. In today's society, the most important thing is not what you see, it is what you can discern beneath the surface. This society is highly sophisticated, and reality is often not what it seems. Most of what is presented before us is merely the tip of a massive iceberg. What you perceive as real may, in fact, be nothing more than a carefully orchestrated performance. A celebrity's income can be exaggerated to maintain an image. A publicly listed company's financial records can be manipulated to deceive investors. And statistics in newspapers and media platforms may not reflect the actual truth. We are living in a world where data can be altered, truths can be concealed, and human emotions can be subtly influenced. Even the smallest things can be fabricated. A crowded cafe may not be popular because of its excellent drinks but because people have been paid to stand in line, creating an illusion of demand. A TV show with high ratings may not owe its success to quality content but rather to purchased views. A researcher celebrated in the media may not be recognized for genuine achievements but rather as a product of a well-planned PR campaign. Even the lives of those around us can be artificially enhanced on social media. Glamorous pictures, joyful moments, luxurious trips, all of which may merely serve as a facade, masking a completely different reality underneath. This reminds me of a verse from the Diamond Sutra: all phenomena are illusory. This statement is not just a philosophical idea but a profound reflection of reality. Those who can see through these deceptions have the ability to perceive the truth. Such awareness prevents us from being consumed by illusions, making us less susceptible to being misled by superficial grandeur. Because in a world full of facades, only those with deep insight can recognize where true value lies. In The Art of War, Sun Tzu once said, "Make the false appear real, and the real appear false." This is not just a military strategy but a highly applicable principle for modern society. Today's world operates under invisible rules, where truths are hidden, and falsehoods are glorified. Society employs countless external illusions to mislead us, making us believe in things that do not truly exist while diverting our attention away from what genuinely matters. Intelligent people never accept things at face value. They understand that the more perfect and polished something appears, the more likely it is to be just a facade. The most successful businesses do not always have the flashiest public image, and the most influential individuals are not always the loudest voices. If you judge things based solely on their outward appearance, you will easily be misled. becoming nothing more than a pawn in a game you don't even realize you are playing. On the other hand, those who lack critical thinking, who blindly follow the crowd without questioning, will inevitably fall prey to illusions. They will believe that everything advertised is the truth, that all successful people follow the same path, and that society operates with absolute fairness. These individuals become trapped in a cycle of manipulation, working tirelessly to chase things that hold no real value, while those who understand the rules of the game exploit their ignorance for personal gain. Ultimately, those who refuse to look deeper into the nature of things will be cast aside by society, reduced to mere puppets rather than the ones pulling the strings. Take social media as an example. Have you ever wondered why those who are truly wealthy and powerful rarely flaunt their status? It is because they do not need public validation to affirm their position. They understand that real value lies in control and the ability to operate behind the scenes, rather than in chasing fleeting moments of admiration and applause. Conversely, those who shout the loudest about power and status are often the ones masking deep insecurities. They crave recognition from society because, deep down, they know their position is not secure. The more financially unstable a person feels, the more likely they are to showcase their wealth through pictures of luxury cars and extravagant mansions. But this does not reflect reality. Many of these individuals may be drowning in debt or simply constructing a glamorous illusion to maintain public attention. In the digital age, we cannot judge a person's success merely by their outward appearance. True entrepreneurs do not waste time flaunting their achievements on social media. They focus on running their businesses. Truly intelligent individuals do not need to constantly speak about their wisdom. They let their results do the talking. Meanwhile, those who tirelessly craft an image of luxury and grandeur are often just trying to fill an emptiness within their own souls. The order and logic of this society are far from simple. They are built upon an intricate set of hidden rules. Those who can stand firm, survive, and thrive in this environment are not merely knowledgeable. They are the ones who truly understand the game. Nothing is completely transparent, and nothing should be taken at face value. Everything operates within the interplay between what is said and what is concealed. This society functions on two levels of order. The first level consists of moral principles and widely promoted codes of conduct. These are the things that can be spoken about but not necessarily practiced. They serve as an idealistic framework for the naive, for those who lack enough experience to realize that ideals are often just tools of persuasion. The second level is the actual reality of how the world operates, things that can be done but cannot be openly discussed. Here, people do not simply act based on morality, they rely on strategy, wisdom, and at times, calculated moves to achieve their goals. If you believe that acting with integrity and transparency alone will earn you respect, you may soon realize that you are merely a pawn in the hands of those who understand the real rules. The more someone tries to prove their honesty, the more easily they become a target for manipulation. The more truthful a person is, the more they risk becoming a tool for those who know how to exploit emotions. This is why those who master the art of ambiguity, who know when to speak and when to remain silent, often end up being the most trusted and powerful individuals. Finally, to survive and avoid being swept away by the currents of societal manipulation, you must understand that words and actions are rarely consistent. What you see is not always what is truly happening. Those who say one thing and do another are not necessarily deceitful. Sometimes, they are simply individuals who understand the rules of the game and use them to navigate life. Therefore, don't just listen to what people say, observe what they actually do. The gap between these two is the key to understanding the true nature of this world. Stay tuned, because the journey of exploring thought and awareness is far from over. I believe that those who have followed practical philosophy until now are truth seekers, individuals who desire to perceive the world with sharper insight and deeper understanding. On this channel, we don't just analyze the surface of social phenomena. We dive into the very essence of things and the underlying laws that govern our reality. This is not just a philosophy channel, it is a space for those who seek wisdom, self-awareness, and the ability to take control of their lives rather than letting life control them. So don't hesitate to share this video with your friends, especially those who are searching for answers to life's biggest questions. Hit the subscribe button to make sure you don't miss any content. Because every upcoming video will bring you a fresh perspective, a breakthrough in thinking, and a deeper awakening. Let's build a community of thinkers, critical minds, and those who can see through the many veils of deception in this world. Because knowledge doesn't just help us understand life, it empowers us to take control of our destiny.